Yeah, we sell it. And then the ice cream shop stays open all the time. Pretty much closed. Ice cream shop could be open a few days, maybe 4 days.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, WAT listeners. It is time for the Albert and Billy Show. I am guest host Ethan Loyd with BTC Fiber, sitting in for Billy, who's feeling a little under the weather. And always honored to be able to sit down with Mr. Albert Roberts for a few minutes, discuss the world's topics.
The world's topics. There is an interesting world we live in.
Yes, sir.
People are praying for Israel. I'm glad to hear that.
People praying for a lot of things right now.
Yes. Praying for this election.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Still praying for them storm victims, too.
Yes.
Two hurricanes.
A
Bang, bang.
lady came in here a while ago and told me she was going to Florida to help clean up.
Oh, it'll be, I wonder how long, I mean, before it'll years.
It'll be a long time.
These places where they say the entire communities are just gone.
Some people won't come back.
Oh, yeah. Some of them move here.
Well, we don't have any hurricanes here.
It's true. Where I live, I don't think I've got to worry about a completely disastrous flood. It's got real bad if it floods me.
I got a notice this week in the mail that I did not have flood insurance with my insurance company.
Now, water damage insurance, I don't know if that's different. I might need to check into that.
Water damage other than a flood, you should be covered.
Good. I hope so. Well, you doing good?
For an old man.
For an old man? When do I get to call myself old?
You're not old.
Oh, I don't get to play that card yet.
I remember the first time I was called Mister. That's been a long time ago, too. And at the time, I was very young, but someone quite younger than me called me Mister. I didn't know who he was talking to.
We went swimming back before it turned cool. And I told somebody I was kind of worried about my wife. She didn't do much swimming. She sat on the side and took pictures while we played. She had lots of pictures of my kids. And then some old fat guy with a gray beard jumping off the diving board. Oh, I don't know what the deal was with that. But
Did you wonder who that was?
it kind of looked strange looking at it, I'll be honest with you. And I'll tell you, that old guy couldn't do the tricks off the diving board that he used to could. I couldn't flip as many times over or backwards or any of that stuff. I landed on my head a time or two. I don't know. I don't spin as quick as I used to. Got stuff orbiting around me, I guess. I don't know.
Let me tell you, it won't get any better.
That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says. Well, we need to start announcements now. Time for announcements.
I'm ready.
All right. Early voting. I don't know what's in the paper, how much of this we ought to try to read, but started Wednesday, October the 16th, and goes through October the 31st. And the vote during early voting period, in person, you need your picture ID, or if you vote on the day of, you need your picture ID. Where do they vote?
Only at the courthouse.
Right at the courthouse, upstairs in the election commission office.
Election commission office.
Well, all right. It's got different hours depending on which week it is. So the 16th through the 18th, which today's the 18th, it's 2 to 7. Saturday the 19th, it's 9 to 12. And then next week, 21 through 24, it's 1 to 4 p.m. and still 9 to 12 on the 25th and 26th. And then the 28th through the 31st, it's 9 to 12 again. So kind of getting different hours and people that work funny.
Well,
you ought to be able to catch one of them if you're a shift worker.
I'm sure that they don't get flooded on the early voting.
Somebody said in Crossville, over 2,000 voted yesterday.
Wow.
It was on the radio.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I think this will be a heavier vote than usual.
Probably so. They had heard that on the radio. I can't remember who told me that this morning, but somebody did. So, early voting. get out there, check it out in the paper. Boo Bash, October the 26th, from 6 to 9 p.m. on Main Street. If you're not familiar with Boo Bash, you definitely need to come check that out. That's a big event for the kids. Trunk or treat style, hayride, movie in the pumpkin patch. I believe it's The Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown starts at 6:30.
Now
And then
that's
there's
a
a
week
costume
from tomorrow,
contest.
right?
Week from tomorrow. Billy says you and him's gonna judge the costume contest.
What about that?
I guess I'll come film you doing that. There'll be a lot of good costumes come across, I'll tell you. If it's like any year, it's always been anyhow. And there's one more on here, breakfast at the Fall Creek Falls Fire Department. That's just over in Van Buren County. But October the 26th, 7 to 10 a.m., boy, it's a good one.
How much?
I think they'd, like everybody else, kind of ask for a donation.
Ask for a donation.
Well, $10 a plate. Says children 10 and under is free. Me and my youngin', my little boy, we was going somewhere to look at something going by there not long ago. Of course, they didn't charge him to eat. He's under 10. But I had a real good breakfast. He loves a waffle. Boy, they made him a waffle. He is tickled. Man, it was good.
Billy does too.
He really enjoyed it. And like I say, mine was great, but I just traditional breakfast. But now he likes a good waffle. That ain't something you cook for yourself every day, you know. That's
I
kinda a treat.
know the feeling.
He liked his waffle. They do a really good job. And like you always say, volunteers, we need to support that.
You know why?
Stop by. That's all. That's our only funds.
Well, the main reason that we should support the volunteer fire department scattered throughout the county is because that helps hold your insurance down.
And they support each other. They all come together at these fires. You know,
That's
if it's not
wonderful.
something,
That's wonderful.
they back each other up. And like I say, volunteers can't have enough good live bodies. Young people. We need some young people to keep interested.
Others are very important in your life.
Yep. Give back.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about this announcement from the mayor and the board of aldermen. They say that mandatory water restrictions are in effect until further notice. That means you do not water your lawn, you do not water your flowers, you don't waste water, you conserve water. So that is from Mayor Cagle and the rest of the Board of Aldermen. So listen, folks, and comply. And then we have coming up tomorrow the bargain basement at the United Methodist Church here on Main Street. They're going to have the bargain basement. You can get a whole bag of clothes for $1. A whole bag, a grocery bag. And also in that bag, you might have shoes or books or DVDs. That's a good deal. And then they have $1 bags. I don't know what's in those. And then it says there are items marked $1, but when you get to the checkout girl or woman or boy or man, it's up to them what they charge you. They would look at me and they'd say, you go on.
$1 or less.
Yeah.
It's not up in there that it might be more.
Then the West End Church of God is going to have Pastor Appreciation Day for Danny Lee and for his wife Sheila. They've been there for 40 years. Can you believe that? The average stay in the Southern Baptist Convention is 2 years or less.
Wow.
Our pastor's been there for 25 years. So that's very unusual. But here he is at West End Church of God for 40 years. That's going to be on Sunday the 20th now. And they're going to have a guest speaker. It's Ronald Reagan. I don't know who Ronald Reagan is.
Well, I know who he used to be.
I know who he used to be. And that's going to be at 11 o'clock on Sunday. And the assistant pastor is Matthew Lee. And so they want everybody to come because they're going to have a dinner after the service. Must be a Baptist church. No, it's Church of God. Okay, there's going to be a breakfast in the morning at the Mountain Crest Fire Hall, and that's going to be from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. You can eat all 4 hours if you wish, as long as you pay the bill. It's $8 a plate, and here's what you will enjoy on that plate: bacon, sausage, eggs, hash browns, biscuits, gravy, jelly, butter, coffee, and milk. These proceeds that will come from you being there will help the fire department pay their expenses, and they have expenses.
Oh yeah, that's my nearest fire department there. We usually swing by. I try to make it. I'm not say upset. I'm disappointed if something's come up and I can't swing by.
Okay, now out on the mountain, what was the temperature this morning?
I don't know. Yeah, I looked this morning. It was yesterday morning. I forgot to look. It's been 29. So for 3 mornings in a row, I've had a real good frost, and I saw 29 today, and 2 days ago I failed to look this morning, or yesterday morning rather.
The lowest I've seen in town here is 32, but I didn't even look this morning.
Was it last week I showed you? I think
Yeah.
Thursday prior to that.
You had
I had
ice.
and it was just in a little old pocket right there. But now these last 3 mornings, this morning was less than the 2 previous mornings. But I mean, it's a complete frost. I mean,
Killing frost.
Oh yeah. It's any of the annual type stuff. It's done for sure now. So
Okay, the last one I have is the Legal Aid of East Tennessee is coming to Pikeville, and they're going to come October the 25th. That'll be next Friday. Yeah, next Friday. And they're going to be at the courthouse over here. They will set up office at 10 o'clock in the morning. And doesn't cost anything. Bye-bye. And they want to help you with legal problems that you have. It don't cost anything.
well, that's good.
That's good. There you go.
Wouldn't be good to have legal problems, but good that it don't cost anything.
It's not good that you have legal
Yeah,
problems.
a little free help's good. I guess whatever's going on.
But it's sad. We had to go to court one time. Eddie Albert, when he was young, he had a car and he was driving back from Dayton, and he hit a car that was turning left in front of him. I went to my insurance company and I told them that I went to church with this man's son, and I did not want to go to court. I wanted us to pay for his car because he was going to sue us. Well, we went ahead. My insurance company agreed with me. But then that man turned around and sued me.
Ah,
So my insurance company said, you may not want to go to court, but we got to go. And so when they went to court, the jury reversed, and they made his insurance pay for mine and his.
deemed it his fault, huh?
That was the only time I ever was sued.
I've not had to have many dealings with the legal system. I hope it stays that way. Hope and pray. Time for birthdays.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You got them.
Michelle Landrum on the 16th. Stacy Peters on the 16th. Heather Robertson over at the courthouse on the 18th. Reagan Brown on the 18th. Brian White on the 19th. Jacqueline Fugit on the 20th. Taylor Warden on the 20th. Bradley Hargis. You reckon that's Mike and Bradley Hargis, the one and
That's
only,
right next door.
on the 21st. Foya Denny on the 21st. And Krista Patterson on the 22nd. That'll get us through the week. Wish you all a happy birthday.
That's a good deal.
Going or a coming. We'll catch some more next week. Well, I think it's time for this part of the program to take a short break, regather our thoughts, and come back for Albertology, sports of all sorts,
We've got to have trivia in here
trivia. We do that for the break, right?
whenever you want it.
Well, it's up to you.
Let's do it now.
Trivia's now. All right.
Okay.
Gail, Cliff, y'all listening? It's time for trivia.
If you go to a restaurant and you pick up a menu,
Uh-huh.
what is the main course called?
Entree.
Entree. That's good. If you're in the Alps and you're a yodeler, what's the response
What's the response?
of a yodeler yodeling in the Alps?
I guess the echo.
Echo. You're on my same page. Give me the name of the car that is made in Korea.
Oh wow, a Korean-made car.
Korean-made car. 3 letters.
Is it a Kia?
Kia.
I didn't know it was made in Korea, but thanks for the hint.
You're 3 for 3. Give me the name of Elmer's product.
Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue. You're 4 for 4. One of the dwarfs wore specs. What was his name?
Doc.
Doc. You haven't missed a one. Rome was not built in a blank.
Day.
You're doing fine. Malden, Malone, or Marks. What was their first name? Malone, Malden, or Marks. What was their first name?
Carl.
Carl. Now this last one. We,
The people.
the people. Thank you,
Well, that was
sir.
the only clue. Was we
We blank
the people?
We
The people.
of the United States of America. I like that.
Well, I guess we was on the same page, all but Carl.
You did well.
Well, thank you.
You did well. But now, next week, they may be harder than that.
Well,
You
maybe,
don't care, do you?
maybe next week Billy will be back. Make them twice as hard.
Okay, that's all I have
That's all.
right now.
All right. Well, we can take a break then come back for Albertology. Sports of all sorts and jokes.
There you go.
Good old Albertology, he always calls it.
You never know what it's going to be about.
Sports.
Well, it's pretty
Depending on
well
what
you
you want
can-
to talk about. I'm not real well rounded in sports, so depending on what you talk about, I might can keep up, and I might.
Well, right now, the baseball is high, and football is in season.
I like to try to watch a little football. I sleep through a lot of it, and then look it up the next day to see who won.
I watched the Dodgers last night through the 8th inning, and I went to bed.
I believe the Alabama-Georgia game. I went to sleep during it and got scolded the next day when I asked somebody how it turned out. It's like, you didn't stay awake?
Well, Alabama and Tennessee always play the 3rd week in October. So that's who will be playing tomorrow, Alabama and Tennessee.
Be one to watch.
It'll be the one to watch.
Well, stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, connecting the Sequatchie Valley to the world.
At Jason Lewis Dunlap Supercenter, we're committed to be better. Better prices, better vehicles, a better experience. Your Jason Lewis Dunlap Supercenter understands that you rely on us to provide you with the highest quality of used vehicles. With over 350 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. So what are you waiting for? Let us show you a better experience with the Jason Lewis Automotive family. Come visit us at Rankin Avenue here in Dunlap or on the web at dunlapsupercenter.com.
You need a bank that you can depend on. Here at Citizens Tri-County Bank, we have the most dependable staff that you will ever meet. Call in, you will not get an automated attendant, you'll get a person. But on the other side, we have all the technology that anyone would need, from apps to online banking to bill pay. So please come and grow with us as we're about to celebrate our 50th year. We are the only community bank you will ever need.
Support small business and shop DunlapMercantile.com.
Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show, everyone. Once again, I'm guest host Ethan Loyd with BTC Fiber. We do the filming and provide part of the entertainment, I guess. Put it together and put it out on the air. Radio listeners, glad you're tuning in. Hope you're having a great week out there. Looking forward to a beautiful weekend. We talked about how cold it was, but it's supposed to get up in the 70s. It's supposed to just be excellent this weekend. The temperatures rise on up a little further, maybe through the first of next week. Be absolutely beautiful. I'd like to pause for a second and thank our sponsors: Citizens Tri-County Bank, Bill Bree Insurance, Scotty's of Pikeville, Courthouse offices of Janine Morton, Lisa Wheeler, Michael Walker, Farm Bureau Insurance in South Pikeville, Morgan Brothers Barbecue in North Pikeville, State Farm Insurance right in the middle of town, right on the bypass, Nickel Row Antiques, couldn't get no closer than what we are right here underneath us, Mill Dam Outdoor and Adventures, Canoe the Sequatchie, It's Lola's, beautiful antiques here on Main Street, Bill Wolf and the Lee Station Baptist Church, the Daily Stop out on the bypass. It's quilting time right over here on Cumberland Avenue. Hours Monday through Thursday. No, excuse me. Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Not Monday through Thursday. Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 to 4. The Lucky Star event venue up the East Valley Road.
Beautiful place.
Also in the courthouse, Zach Ohlendorf. I'm going to move that one up, make a note. And then Dexter's Barbershop. That's all I've got.
I had to go have a haircut last week. That's where I went.
Good haircut, too.
Well, I think it was good for me.
Very good. Once again, thanks so much to these sponsors for making this show possible. I'm giving Billy the paid day off today.
Thank you, sir. Now we're time for sports.
Sports?
Sports of all sorts.
Sports is before Albertology, eh? Sports of all sorts.
Last Friday night, our local Bledsoe County Warriors took on Polk County, and they came out with a win. That gives their record 6-1 now, and that was 24-14, one touchdown difference. But can you imagine Bledsoe County with a football team 6-1? They will be off tonight. Next week it will be Gordonsville.
So no ball game tonight.
No ball game tonight.
Gordonsville next week.
Gordonsville. I know where Gordonsville is. But anyway, also last Friday night, my Dodgers, I've been a Dodger fan since 1947, so I can call them my Dodgers. That was when they were in New York, and they played at Ebbets Field. But last Friday night, they took on the Padres in a 5-game set, and this game was to determine which one would play the Mets. They had the Mets to play next to get in the World Series. So they had to dispose of the Padres first, and they did, 2-0. So then since then they've been playing the Mets, and last night they played in another game, and this was game 4. And the Dodgers are ahead 3 games to 1 now. They won last night 10-2. So the Dodgers are ahead, but the 5th game is tonight, or the 6th game, because they're ahead. No, they're ahead 3. Tonight will be the 5th game, or this afternoon. Playing right now, I guess. But anyway, if my Dodgers win one more game, they'll have the best. This is the best of 7. You got to win 4 games. So they've won 3 and lost 1. They're playing the Mets. If the Mets win and the Yankees win, they're playing Cleveland in the American League. That's who will be in the World Series, the Yankees and the Mets. It'll be a Subway Series. Subway. But anyway, we don't. That's neither here nor there. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Right now, the World Series is not set because the Yankees are still playing Cleveland and the Dodgers are still playing the Mets. On Saturday, last Saturday, our Tennessee Vols hosted Florida, and Florida posed a problem for them. Tennessee was ranked number 8 before that game. They won 23-17, but because Florida was not ranked at all, it made Tennessee drop to number 11. So they're out of the top 10. So while they were playing last Saturday, the number 1 team in the nation was also in the SEC. That was Texas. Texas plays Oklahoma every year, and they call it the Red River Rivalry. And Texas being number 1 and Oklahoma being number 18, that's the difference in the score. Texas played like the number 1 team, and Oklahoma played like the number 18 team. So it was 34-3. So Texas is still number 1. Number 21 was Missouri, and they played the University of Massachusetts, and they won handily, 45-3. Meanwhile, number 7, Alabama, played South Carolina, and South Carolina has no ranking, and Alabama barely won, 27-25. This dropped Alabama in the rankings too. Then Mississippi State and Georgia tussled, and Georgia won by 10 points, 41-31. Okay. Ole Miss at number 9 and LSU at number 13 took on each other, and LSU won 29-26. So the SEC won 7 games last week and lost 5, but much of those 5 losses playing each other. And we have 16 teams in the SEC. Before last Saturday, we had 5 in the top 10. We don't have 5 in the top 10 anymore. Okay, the number 3 team in the nation was Oregon, and number 2 team was Ohio State. But Oregon won in that game. So it was 32-31. That's as close as you can get to still be a winner. Okay. In the National League playoffs, to determine the World Series representative, it's the Dodgers and the Mets. And this came up Sunday. In the second game, it was 9-0. And the Mets won the next game 7-3. And the Dodgers and the Mets have been pretty well evenly matched, but the Dodgers have the edge so far. In football tomorrow, it'll be Georgia and Texas. Remember, Texas is number 1. LSU takes on Arkansas. Texas A&M and Mississippi State toss it up. Vanderbilt and Ball State. Vanderbilt goes outside the conference to take on Ball State. Can you imagine if they win tomorrow, that will give Vanderbilt 5 wins. That's unheard of if you're a Vanderbilt fan. You're used to winning maybe 3 games a year.
They're coming from there this year, that's for sure.
And then the 3rd week in October, always it's Alabama and Tennessee. There will be a struggle tomorrow because Tennessee's lost game and they're not playing well. Alabama's not playing well. So it's going to be a flip of a coin which one will win. Okay, Oklahoma takes on South Carolina. I don't think Oklahoma's ranked anymore after losing last week at number 18. South Carolina does not have any ranking. Kentucky takes on Florida, and neither one of them is ranked. Auburn and Mississippi. Ole Miss, no, it's Missouri. Auburn is not ranked, and I don't think Missouri is either. So that's it with football and baseball. That third game last night went to the Dodgers 10-2. Not tonight, but next week we can root for our Warriors over Gordonsville. Our Warriors have a good record, 6-1. So if they beat Gordonsville, they'll be 7-1. They're having a good year.
Oh, yeah. They've been having a good stretch.
Yeah.
It's a really good program. It's impressive to go watch them. They had a little clinic for the kids, and we went there and took our kids. They had for the boys, and even had a flag football thing going on for the girls.
Really?
And just very well organized. Just a lot going on, but it's impressive. It's a good program. Good program.
I'm proud of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would say that it's reflective in attendance too. You'd rather watch a winner than a loser.
Mm-hmm. Well, and a program that's putting some pride in the boys, teaching them some discipline and stuff like that. You want to support that.
Yeah.
So that's easier to support anyway.
It's easier. It's easier. Okay, that's all the sports. Now we're ready for Albertology.
Albertology. What kind of deep thoughts of Albertology are on your mind?
I wrote this down on a piece of paper. A kangaroo's jump can be as high as 30 feet.
Wow. High or
No, in distance. Distance. They hop. They don't walk.
how fast do you reckon they're traveling when they're hopping like that?
I do not have any idea.
I think they can move quite a few miles per hour, I believe.
I would say if they have an idea of where they want to get to, they get there quicker. Okay, this Halloween, which won't be very long away, we will spend in America on candy $11 billion.
My.
That makes the dentist tickle to death.
And the people supplying insulin too, probably.
Dentists do not do the work for free.
Mm-mm.
Except once a year down here. Okay, these are some thoughts that I got out of a book. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. That's by George Moore. J.H. Payne said this, and I've heard this: be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. The three sweetest words to mortals given are heard in the words mother, home, and heaven. So home is central to a person's thoughts. Carol and I lived in 9 different houses. She made every house a home. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. Whatever it is that you live in. Some people are homeless. We had a homeless couple to come to church a while ago to get money, to get food.
Mm.
They had to carry it in bags. They didn't have a car to haul their food in. Homeless couple in Pineville. This is a Chinese proverb. 100 men may make an encampment, but it takes a woman to make a home. I said that about my wife. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. Who is powerful? He that governs his passions. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. Benjamin Franklin. I've heard this: honesty is the best policy, but there are too few policy holders. This is something Billy Graham said, and you have to go back to the days of Richard Nixon to get this. Everybody has a little bit of Watergate in him. I can't picture Billy Graham saying that. And Alexander Pope said this: an honest man is the noblest work of God. I like that. Okay. It's a weird, weird world. At a hospital in Nashville, Tennessee, on election day, nurses went into the room of a 72-year-old woman to prepare her for open heart surgery, only to find the woman wasn't there. Instead, they found a note, and on that note she had written, "Gone to vote back in 30 minutes." So an election official later confirmed an elderly woman with IVs coming out of her arms had indeed come to vote. Can you believe that? It's a weird, weird world. I can't believe that.
She should have planned ahead and wouldn't done the early voting.
Or they would have brought it to her, I think.
Absentee vote, yeah.
Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That's from Matthew. Proverbs says, a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. I had a man one time that worked for me. He did not go to church. He professed nothing. But one time we had to do it at the store, and he wrote this verse, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Matthew says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. The selfish heart deserves the pain it takes. A happy heart is better than a full purse. A happy heart. Happiness is a beautiful thing, but not everyone has happiness. It's beautiful to see happy people. Okay, you heard of Audubon.
Mm-hmm.
This is what John James Audubon did. He was a pioneer of American wildlife conservation, and he was a 19th century naturalist, and he spent days at a time searching for birds in the woods so that he could paint them. Listen to what this says. This was in 1905. Actually, Audubon found the birds, then shot them. In addition to painting, he was an avid hunter. According to David Walensky in Significa, he achieved unequal realism by using freshly killed models held in lifelike poses by wires. That's the reason he killed so many birds. He did them in sequence so that he could make that bird look real. But he was painting the bird and it was dead. This is unusual. One of the most famous paintings in American history is General George Washington going across the Potomac River. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
This was on Christmas Eve in 1776. I can remember seeing that painting. It was painted 75 years after the battle by a German artist named Lutzke. He used American tourists as models. Those were not real warriors. And he substituted the Rhine River, but he got the style of the clothing wrong, and even the American flag was incorrect. I did not know that. But it was one of her most recognized paintings. Can you believe that? These are flood headlines that actually took place in newspapers. Man steals clock, faces time. Studies says snoring drivers have more accidents. Hillary Clinton on welfare. She's going to talk on welfare, but it says Hillary Clinton on welfare. That's all I have on that one. You tell me when we have to stop and have jokes.
I hadn't even looked at the time. 2:47.
We better do jokes.
Well, we got time.
What? Okay. These are comics. They make you not make you laugh. Listen to these. Billy Crystal says this. He's silly. Did you hear they finally made a device that makes cars run 95% quieter? It fits right over her mouth. My parents only had one argument in 45 years. It lasted 45 years. Steve Martin said this. First the doctor told me the good news, I was going to have a disease named after me.
Oh my.
Roseanne Barr said this. I think I'm a pretty good judge of people, which is why I hate most of them.
No.
Okay, these next ones are longer. I'll quit and have them next time.
Save them
I'll save them. We'll have some.
into your year's stockpile.
I'll have them in the future.
Time for jokes.
Time for jokes. Listen to this first one.
All right.
My sister explained to my nephew how his voice would eventually change as he grew up. Tyler was exuberant at the thought that he would change his voice. He said, "Cool, I hope I get a German accent." On his 18th birthday, my son announced that he was no longer obligated to observe the curfew we had insisted that he live by. I'm 18, he announced, and you can't stop me from leaving the house if and when I want to. The daddy said, you're right. I can't stop you from leaving, but I'll lock the door when you come back in.
Stop you from returning.
A teenager brings her new boyfriend home to meet her parents. They're appalled by his haircut, by his tattoos, by his pierced ears and pierced nose. And later, the girl's mom says to her daughter, "Dear, he doesn't seem like a very nice boy." "Oh, please, Mom," she said. "If he wasn't nice, why would he be doing 500 hours of community service?" Last Christmas morning, after all the presents were opened, it was clear that my 5-year-old son was not thrilled with the ratio of toys to clothes. So as he trudged slowly up the stairs, I said, "Hey, where are you going?" "I'm going upstairs to play with my socks." Play with my socks. My teenage niece, Elizabeth, was nervous as she took her wheel for the first driving lesson. As she was pulling out of the parking lot, the inspector and instructor said, "Turn left here, and don't forget to let the people know that are behind you what you're doing, where you're going." So she turned to the students in the back of the car and she said, "I'm going to turn left." My oldest sister had made a salad for dinner, and served it on everyone's plate before we sat down. Coming to the table, Dad caught my 4-year-old sister, Amy, poking his salad and told her to stop. So she was very quiet during dinner because he had told her to stop fooling with his salad. Finally, when the meal was over, Dad said, "Amy, why were you playing with my food?" "I was just trying to get the moth out." Since my 16-year-old son recently received a prepaid cell phone as a gift, I've asked him to use it to call home if he's out past his curfew. One Saturday, while waiting up for him, I dozed off in front of the TV. Later, I woke up to realize there was no sign of him and no call from him. I punched in his number. When he answered, I demanded, "Where are you? And why haven't you bothered the phone?" "Dad," he said sleepily, "I'm upstairs in bed. I've been home for 2 hours." This teenager was in my boutique for at least an hour choosing the perfect dress for a party. But the next day she came back with the outfit. "Can I exchange this for something else?" I was surprised, but I couldn't argue with her explanation. She said, "My parents like it." This is parenthood. I've been a parent 3 times, so I can understand this. I like having conversation with kids. Grown-ups never ask me what my 3rd favorite reptile is. My 2-year-old has a superpower. Everything he touches gets sticky. We could live inside the school bus and my son would still find a way to make us late for it every day. One more?
Why, sure.
En route to Atlanta, my stepfather spotted some mules by the side of the road, and he said to my mother, "Relatives of yours?" Not taking the bait, she said, "Yeah, through marriage." Let that be the last one.
Let that be the last one. That's up to you.
Well,
I'm just here to giggle. Taking Billy's spot.
what's the difference between an outlaw and an in-law?
You tell me.
Outlaws are wanted.
Outlaws are wanted.
When our son Patrick was 4, we still marked all his Christmas presents from Santa Claus. A couple hours after he opened them on Christmas Day, I noticed that he seemed glum, and for no apparent reason, so she said, "What's the matter, Patrick?" He said, "I really thought you and Mommy would get me something for Christmas."
That would be disappointing.
I was thrilled to be moving into my own house, even though it was only a block from my parents' house. The very first morning on my own, I relaxed on the porch and listened to some music, enjoying my new independence. Then the phone rang. It was my father telling me to turn the sound system down. 1 block away. This will be the last one.
All right.
For serving as a flower girl for her aunt, 3-year-old Sydney received a doll and bridal-themed gifts. Sydney was so thrilled, she ran to her aunt and announced, I want this for all your weddings." All your weddings.
Oh my. Not real optimistic for the young girl, eh?
How many weddings would you have? But you know, our pastor on Sunday nights is letting the people in the church share their story of their life. 2 women that I've listened to tell their story of their life have been married 3 times. So you never know what's going on in a person's life.
No, sure don't. Well, I believe
it.
that wraps us up with the jokes.
That does it for the day.
Any other special thoughts for the day?
It's
Or the week?
beautiful. You know, I get tempted to think, once in a while, God knows what He's doing.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
I just think that once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Just think, though, when it rains, some people are glad, and some people are sad.
Well, them last rains we've had have been good for us. But boy, the havoc they've caused in some other areas, you know. But it sure got dry.
Well, it's dry right here, right now.
I usually don't pray for rain or dry. I just pray for wisdom to do right with whatever He's handed me, you know. I know He knows what He's doing, but sometimes I'm not sure what it is.
Well,
let me in on it.
His thoughts are so much higher than our thoughts, and His ways so much higher than our ways, that we'll never get on the same page.
No, not in this body.
No.
Not as mortals. Well, all right.
I'm glad you were here today.
I'm happy to do it. Enjoy. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Albert and Billy Show. Again, Ethan Loyd with BTC Fiber here, setting in. And as always, Albert is Albert, with all the wisdom and jokes and structure and keeping things together. So until next week, y'all have a great week, and thanks for tuning in.
See you, folks.
Hey folks, Albert and Billy here. You're watching us on Channel 18, BTC Fiber. Check us out on BTC Fiber YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and like. And check out our Facebook page. Be sure to like and share. Thanks everybody for watching.